Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. It's the midweek edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. I am Abimbola Bello.
And I am Ajibola Joshua. Welcome to the show.
I am Joy Olu. Welcome to The Conversation.
Right, it was Joy's off day yesterday. How was your off day?
Did I sleep? I was doing housework.
Okay, housework. Okay. We were here. We were doing office work. All right, let's get into the program today. We have so many things to do, and time is not our friend this morning. Let's quickly move on. I'm on the show now by taking our news points for today. Let me start on this side, and then issues around insecurity are again rearing their ugly heads. And rising insecurity, National Assembly ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. And the story says retired military generals have again called on the federal government to urgently equip the Nigerian armed forces amid growing concerns over the resurgence of terrorist attacks and killings in the northeast. This comes as the House of Representatives on Tuesday expressed deep concern over a recent deadly attack on a military facility in Giwa, Borno State, describing the incident as a glaring indicator that Boko Haram insurgents are better armed than the military. During Tuesday's plenary, the lawmakers lamented the gradual return of the terrorist group and the loss of lives in recent times in Borno and neighboring Yobe State. Though budgetary allocations to the defense and security sectors have steadily increased, there have been complaints and questions about the quality and volume of arms available to the troops. In 2023, the federal government earmarked 2.98 trillion naira for defense and security. This rose to 3.25 trillion in the 2024 budget. And for 2025, President Bola Tinubu proposed a record 4.91 trillion naira out of the 49.7 trillion naira national budget, aimed at enhancing the operational effectiveness of security agencies. Despite this substantial investment, Nigeria continues to grapple with deep-rooted security challenges, including insurgency and banditry. Well, let's leave it here. And so when things like this come up, of course, one is forced to ask the question, what exactly is going on? We would have thought that by now we should be done and dusted with issues around insurgents, bandits, attacks, and all of that. But it feels like every year or year in, year out, there's a new strategy by these people. And they seem to always want to overwhelm our own security apparatus. And then you hear things like they're being sponsored, you hear things like there are machineries outside the shores of the country, and then you ask yourself, okay, so if you know, what are we doing?
For what you have just said, it's a more reason why our own security there should be a re-strategy. You can't keep doing things the same way and expect a different result.
Absolutely. You know, you mentioned certain amount of money, and in my mind, I was like, okay, what exactly have we achieved or done with those monies allocated for the procurement of security gadgets? You mentioned the quality and the quantity of weapons at the disposal of our security agencies. What has happened to intelligence gathering? Why are these guys always 10 steps ahead of our security agencies?
I tell you, it just feels like there are certain things not right. So it's either the strategies are failing, it's either there is a collusion, and you know, some other things that we cannot begin to think about. But whatever it is, the presidency and the governors need to step up their games. We cannot continue to lose lives and property. We cannot continue to allow these guys to run over our military men because of the kind of weapons that they have. It's not acceptable. It is not.
And you know, time and time again, we have seen different videos, our security agencies and agents complaining that their motivation is zero, and they have nothing to fight or confront these guys. Maybe we might have to invite the Chairman's Committee on Defense again to come and give us the account of what they have done or achieved with the money allocated for defense in the year 2024 budget as well as 2025.
All right, Jibola, let's take your story.
All right, Senate to pass Tinubu's tax bills today. The leadership of the 10th Senate has postponed the passage of President Bola Tinubu tax reform bills to Wednesday for proper scrutiny and debate. The four bills, Nigeria Tax Bill, Tax Administration Bill, Revenue Tax Board Bill, and Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill were forwarded to the president 6 months ago as part of effort to reform the country's fiscal policies and boost revenue generation. The delay in the passage of the bills had raised concerns, especially after the House of Representatives approved them 2 weeks ago, putting pressure on the Red Chamber. In a related development, the Senate leadership resolved to hold a 2-day National Security Summit to brainstorm a solution to the rising wave of killings and other forms of insecurity in the country. The decision followed a motion sponsored by Jimoh Ibrahim, senator representing Ondo South, at the resumption of plenary on Tuesday. While on a working visit to France, bandits in a senseless campaign of violence killed innocent Nigerians in Plateau State, Benue and Zamfara State, culminating in calls for President Bola Tinubu to cut short his vacation to return home to lead the fight against insecurity from the front. Leading the debate, Ibrahim said the high level of global insecurity is driven by events in Russia and Ukraine. So there you have it. We hope it will be passed today, and let the needful be done. And, you know, there's a strong connection between your story and mine, because Jimoh Ibrahim equally raised issues concerns about insecurity.
Yeah, so, well, let's see how, you know, they will, what they need to also do when they resume, they need to prioritize certain things. It goes beyond going on recess and coming back. We need to start feeling the impact of our lawmakers. It is not all the time that, you know, you rubber stamp everything coming from the presidency. Can you also allow Mr. President feel some heat from your end?
Put him on his toes.
I mean, it doesn't mean that you're not aligning with him, but let him also see reasons why certain things also needs to be done. Let them come back and start do their work as lawmakers.
You have approved a certain amount of money for defense.
We are saying
ask questions.
It's just too much. Let us see, you know, how things can really work meaningfully going forward. Joy, let's take your story.
Sanwo-Olu flags off 1.3-kilometer Ikorodu Road project. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Tuesday flagged off the construction of Monsuru Egbeyemi Street, Alaja Agbaje Street Road in Ikorodu local government area of the state. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony, the special advisor to the governor on rural development, Dr. Nuruddin Agbaje, who represented Sanwo-Olu, highlighted the administration's dedication to impactful governance through the infrastructural development in the various communities across the state. He said, quoting him now, "The long-anticipated 1.3-kilometer project is poised to significantly enhance road connectivity and unlock economic opportunities for residents of Monsuru Egbeyemi, Alaja Agbaje Street, Adlas Street, and part of Siru Street in Ikorodu local government." He explained that the project will feature full drainage system, culverts, an outfall drain, 1,000-watt solar-powered street lights, curb painting, and lane markings, underscoring the Sanwo-Olu administration's commitment to the Themes Plus agenda, especially in the area of traffic management and transportation. According to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Rural Development, Kikelomo Bariwu, she also noted that the contractors had been mobilized and were expected to move to the site by next week. That's the report.
Well, some other accolades there for the Lagos State government, but then we do know that the rain could also slow down the construction because it is the rainy season. But the fact that at least this has been flagged off, even when the rain starts, perhaps there could also have been something significant that may have happened before work stops or work is broken. But we'll continue to give kudos to Mr. Governor and his team as they strive to ensure that all parts of Lagos receive meaningful development.
Absolutely.
Right, let's go to the X platform this morning and take a look at one of the many trending stories on that platform today. I know Ajibola is actually waiting to take a swipe at those he wants to take a swipe at this morning, but my heart broke last night. And, you know, during the first leg, the 6-6, the 3-3 on aggregate, I was rooting for Barcelona. But my husband was hell-bent on the fact that Inter will beat them.
Yeah, I rooted for Inter as well.
Because Inter plays, the way Inter plays, you can't, that club, you can't pin them down.
You can't.
But Barcelona gave them a run.
But they never gave up.
For it. They never gave up. And honestly, last night, Yamal.
That guy will go places.
Yamal was, for me, it was everywhere.
It was.
Last night. And he played his heart out on, that field yesterday. But let's say that the better team won.
The God of Soccer is quite funny. And of course,
the God of Soccer out of this.
It favored Inter yesterday. That was a classical example of a final of European Champions League.
It was, in fact, perhaps we saw the final match.
Honestly.
Yes, every other thing that we see.
Honestly. And the question being asked yesterday was that, were it to be Liverpool or Arsenal, would they have survived?
It would not have been that tenacious. So, I'm sure that everybody is looking at tonight's match and waiting for what will happen.
Nothing is going to happen in favor of Arsenal. PSG is going to win. Arsenal does not have the character to be a champion of the world.
What has Arsenal done to you?
And that I know.
Oh, good.
Arsenal is more or less like a football academy, and they will continue to remain there. Even in England, what have they proven? Nothing.
Second fiddle.
Second fiddle. And oftentimes I tell Bature that my club and yours, they are not in the same league. I have conquered the world twice.
In the same category.
Okay.
To even conquer England, it
Okay.
is difficult for you.
May God spare our lives to be here tomorrow to talk about that.
Solomon, I hope the likes of
football
Solomon and
will be in
Dagreen, they
favor
were
of
able to sleep
Arsenal.
yesterday. And of course, Adenike, our producer. I was happy Barcelona
It's
lost.
okay. Barcelona, you did your very best, honestly, last night.
Very best was not enough.
Okay, I give up. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we return, one of the conversations we'll be having today would come up at, like I said, we have like 2 or 3 conversations on the program today. So we'll see you again after this short break.
To Computer Village to buy a phone, and then this guy approached me. I thought he's one of the sales guy in one of those shops. I never knew it was a tout. So this guy said he was going to sell the phone to me, and I said okay. So he said I should follow him, so he showed me a phone. So at the point in time he was like, oh, let us leave this place. There are some touts around that will want to take advantage of that transaction. So I said okay. So where are we going? He said we should just walk further, somewhere. I said, okay, that's not a problem. So we walked, but at the point in time, the guy was like, I should just take the phone, that people are actually watching, and he didn't want them to know that he sold the phone and things like that. So I fell for it. I gave him the phone, I gave him the money, and he just went away. To my surprise, I noticed that it was a dummy phone that he gave to me. So, immediately it dawned on me that it was a dummy phone. I went to the police post inside the Computer Village at Oremeji, and I reported to the policeman. And the policeman said, no problem, my brother. That culprit will come around in the next 5 minutes. That I should just wait. I said, really? Lo and behold, the guy showed up. He said, is it that guy? I said, yes, that guy. He said, no problem. He said, come. You just duped my brother. I said, I said, how much did you give him? I said 10,000. I'm talking about something that's about 15 years ago or more than that. He said 10,000. I said 10,000. So I said, okay. He said, where is his money? He said, but I'll spend 1,000 there. I said, oh, really? I said, just give me the remaining 9,000 and go.